Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fantasy Football, and welcome to my video. Game week 1 has just finished and I cannot wait to talk about my team and the fixtures. So for those people who are new, just want to give you guys a little information about when I'm going to be posting my FPL videos now that preseason has finished. So basically every time a game week has finished, I want to try my best to post a video as soon as possible. And then throughout the week, I'm going to gather a lot of information and I'm going to be talking to you guys about some of the best transfers to make for the next coming game week. And then I'm going to try my best. This season, I'm going to try my best to create a live stream just before the deadline for every single game week. It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to try. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe and smash that like button. Let's see if we can get over 200 likes and I'll do my best to create a live stream before the deadline. Okay, now just one more thing before I continue. In this preseason, we went through a lot of things. We looked at the fixtures, we looked at the drafts, we looked at the teams, we looked at the transfers, promoted teams, bench, wildcard plans, other plans. And you know, with all this research that we did in the preseason, it has worked. As you can see, for game week 1, I got myself 91 points. So here we go. For game week 1, this was my team setup. As you can see, Ryan in goal with 9 points. 4.5 goalkeeper. I could have went for Pope. Could have went for Heaton. But with Heaton, I thought to myself, you know what? I got like Lucas Moura in my team, which is against Heaton. Then the next game, Heaton will face against King and Wilson. I just didn't like that scenario. So I went with Ryan. I had Ryan in my team for such a long time, and it paid off. And Brighton beating Watford 3-0 was a shock in itself. I could not believe it. They actually done really well. This goalkeeper gave me 9 points. Next up is Van Dijk with 8 points. 6.5 player. He scored a goal. The dream start. Salah as your captain, crossing the ball onto his head and him scoring was like the best feeling in the world. Zinchenko 6 points, only 5.5 player. Of course I am worried about his minutes later on, but at the early stages I'm actually happy the fact that I bought him in. Manchester City beating West Ham 5-0 away was just an incredible score. Lucas Dean, 6 points. Okay, 6 million, a little bit more expensive. On another day, probably could have got like an assist or a goal, but I can't complain. It was away against Crystal Palace, so 6 points, I will take that. Now, the one player that actually disappointed me is Sigurdsson, because he was 13.8% owned. That was kind of my differential. 8 million player though, expensive, only 3 points. But you know what? On another day, he could have scored 2 goals. So unlucky for him. Plus, he had to be substituted early because of a red card. I'm still going to keep him. I think these fixtures are incredible. I planned it where I want 2 Everton players at least for this long run. So I'm just going to hope they can bring something very, very soon. And as you can see, Sterling with 3 goals. Oh my God. If you captained him, if you triple captained him, then well done to you. This is pretty much the best kind of captain point that you can get. 20 points is massive. 3 goals. Even that cheeky clean sheet points as well. 3 bonus points. I mean, he's still low owned, 34%. He should be around 50, to be honest with you. 12 million. His price is going to go up. And yeah, 20 points is crazy. Wow, what a player. And Salah returned 12 points, scored a goal, assisted, which was fantastic. 2 bonus points. Yeah, 44%. A lot of managers captained him, and we were right to captain him. This is a decent amount of points, 12 points. So really happy the fact that my captain's option actually did well. I know a lot of people own him, but you still want those points in your bank. Next up is Perez, only 3 points, 6.5 player though, so he is a very cheap option. I just can't see any other 6.5 players around that could get us a lot of points. I guess I need to wait and see what happens, and if we can find like a really good gem out there. I know there's a few Aston Villa players that could do well, that is around 6 million, or I could maybe upgrade him to Zaha if he actually starts the next game. So I've got a little bit of plans for him later on if he like doesn't perform, but for now he's fine. Next up is Lucas Moura, 5 points, 7.5 million player. Now I bought this player in because I wanted to cover Spurs in their first game, and at least he bought me something. So 5 points is better than, you know, nothing, so I'm pretty happy with that. I guess I need to plan my next transfer. I'm thinking to bank my transfer or maybe do a straight swap with Martial. But I'll see. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to wait until the deadline before I make any kind of decisions. And the massive disappointment here is these two Bournemouth players. Joshua King with 2, but Wilson with 5. So I'm happy with that. Hopefully they can get some returns in the next game. And as for my substitutes, Gibson didn't play at all, so that's a massive disappointment. Greenwood played only 4 minutes, which is okay, I guess. And Lundstrom played 77 minutes. He actually got a bonus point as well and plays in the midfield, and he's a defender in the game. So that is a massive bonus for me. So that was my team. Overall, I am absolutely happy. I'm so happy the fact that I got 91 points. And yeah, it's just an incredible start. Let me quickly talk about my overall rank here. As you can see, this was last night. I'm around 300k, something like that. To be honest with you, do not look at that overall rank. Do not look. It doesn't mean nothing right now. Once we get to game week 10, once we get to that Christmas period, then we can decide on what kind of rank that we could finish with. For now, don't even look at that. So that was my team. I hope like I have helped you, and I have hoped like I have gave you some kind of strategy, some kind of idea for the next coming game weeks. Let's look at game week 2 and see how my team is set up. So as for game week 2, like I said at the beginning, that I'm going to gather a lot more information later on. And then I'm going to create a video and talk about more in detail about all of these fixtures that happened in game week 1. And then we can decide on like which kind of players we need to kind of keep an eye out for game week 2, and you know, talk about some of the like a really good transfer options for our teams. Okay. So I'll go through that later on throughout the week once I gather a lot more information. But for now, Ryan's going to be in my goal, obviously, because he's the only one that I have. I don't have a rotation goalkeepers against West Ham. West Ham's not performed really well in the game week 1, but that's because they were up against Manchester City. But Brighton's playing pretty well right now, so you know, with this new manager, anything can happen. Van Dijk is going back to his old club against Southampton. And Southampton didn't play really well against Burnley, losing there 3-0. A chance for Liverpool to continue their good run. Next up is Zinchenko. Now, I'm not saying that Manchester City is going to keep a clean sheet, but if you got a player like Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling, then it's going to look good for you. I can see Manchester City scoring a lot of goals against Tottenham. That back line of the Tottenham side, it's not looking good. It's a little bit on the weak side. And I can see Kevin De Bruyne, I can see Sterling doing pretty damn well in that game. Everton with Lucas Digne and Sigurdsson, you know, going with that double Everton players with this lovely fixtures. I just need them to return some kind of points. I can see it happening. But the problem with Everton right now is their central midfielders. They got a few players that can't play. 1 or 2 injuries and a red card. But I think that for attacking kind of purposes, there's a high chance for them to get some kind of returns. Sterling is going to be my captain against Tottenham. I know it's a difficult fixture still, but I can see, like, he does pretty damn well against the big sides anyway, and he done well against Tottenham in the past, and I can see him do well for this game. Salah is another option for captain. I can see him doing well as well against Southampton, which lost 3-0 against Burnley. So if you want to go for Salah, then go ahead. Perez, you know, I can't complain. He's a cheap player. I just hope they can get something. But against this Chelsea side, it's just not performed. We spoke about Chelsea that we need to see how well they develop and how well they kind of, I don't know, how we just needed to wait and see. And look what happened. Manchester United completely destroyed them, winning 4-0. Now, at home it could be different, but we still need to wait and see. They still need to gel. There's a lot of new players that, if you really think about it, you know, from loan, they're still going to be new to that team. And this might give Leicester a good chance. Leicester is actually a solid team. Next up, I got Lucas Moura, and let me talk about him and Joshua King. Basically, I always spoke about these players, and I said that these are the players that I'm going to switch around and use them as my transfer. So if I see like a really good option coming through, then I can use them, meaning transfer them out using their money and get those players in. So I'm going to hold as long as I can, but I'm very tempted to remove Lucas Moura to Martial, which is a 7.5 player as well. So I'll see. I'm not going to make a rash decision right now. Anything can happen. Joshua King here and Wilson against Aston Villa. Aston Villa done pretty damn well against Tottenham. So I don't know, you know. I can't. It's going to be difficult for Bournemouth to get something. So that was my team. I'm going to talk about game week 2 throughout the whole week. Anyway, I thought I'll post a video out so you guys can see. The Sheffield United guy is going to be my first substitute player. But yeah, that is about it. I hope you enjoyed it. This video was a little bit longer than usual, but I wanted to give as much as information out as possible. I am here for the long run. I am here to do a lot of research. I am here to learn and get better and better and better. So subscribe, follow me at Twitter, because that's where all the fun begins. When a game week starts, you know, it just goes crazy, which is fun. And yeah, drop a like. Let's see if we can get this video up to about 200 likes. That would be incredible. And I'll create another video for you guys, okay? Thank you so much, guys. And I'll see you guys next time. See ya.